How's it going, everybody? Tony here from Kapowcast, and welcome back to another episode of Shut Up and Take My Money, the show where we talk about the newest and greatest news announcements in the world of collecting. And today joining me is John motherfucking Brewski. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? Oh, I thought I got out of this world, but all this stuff just comes back and it bites me. It's a terrible addiction.
I always say
have
once a
Collectors
collector,
Anonymous soon.
Once a collector, always a collector.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's always going to be something that grabs my attention, and quite frankly, currently it's been the G.I. Joe Classifieds and the Masters of Universe Origin line.
I pray for all of you.
Whew.
But yep, and real quick, before we dive into all this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell for notifications so you're notified every time that we drop new content over here on the channel. Podcast listeners, hit that follow button, the download button, whatever your platform has, so that you don't miss an episode of us. John, first and foremost, how do you feel about the streets?
The streets?
Yes.
Oh man, there's tons that I could talk about the streets. Okay. I know there's streets of rage, those rage streets. There's street trash. There's also a certain kind of sewer dwellers that are typically involved with the streets. There's also some rollerblading creatures that are involved with the streets. So yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. I know the streets. I grew up on the streets.
Okay. And what is your feelings on sharks?
Whoo, man. Just there's Shark Week, Sharknado, House Shark, Sharktopus. I mean, you got to be prepared. You always have to be prepared for sharks. You never know when one could attack you. Thought one was right there. I'm prepared though. I'm very impressed with your knowledge of sharks, by the way. I wasn't expecting that. But if we take those two things and we combine them together and we get street sharks. Now, yes. I don't know your feelings on the 90s hit of Street Sharks, but to me, it was probably a fundamental part of my childhood. And since collecting as a adult collector, I've constantly wanting, NECA or somebody to give me some Street Sharks figures. And finally, what we got this past week, what seemed to be a tease from Storm Collectibles, they're well known for their Mortal Kombat and their Street Fighter figures. They teased on their Twitter a possible Street Sharks hint that they might be coming out with them. I lost my freaking mind. Like I went bonkers. I haven't been this excited about like some sort of tease or an announcement since I think the Turtles first got like announced by NECA. Yeah, right.
So obviously, I don't think I need to draw the picture for anybody about what happened when I seen the tweet. But when you heard about it, what was your first thought?
It's finally happening. Definitely was thinking that. Another surprise was that Storm Collectibles got it. And I mean, like you said, they're known for their video game stuff. They're also known for like sports entertainment, some wrestling figures, professional boxing. There might be a Muhammad Ali, I can't recall, but a Mike Tyson figure. I believe they put out a Bruce Lee figure. So they're known for their high-end action figures. And I mean, bravo to them to get the Street Sharks. Like that's my first thing. I think one of the things that I really enjoy, especially nowadays, is the licensing side of things. It's no secret I'm an intellectual property nerd when it comes to this sort of thing. So I absolutely love the legal side of it as well. And I just wonder about those conversations that happen and how these people get these IP licenses. And to know that they got it, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with this.
I have high expectations for them. I love their Mortal Kombat figures. I think they look amazing. I personally, great. I don't have any, but I have been on that edge that like I've had them in the cart or I've had them on the pre-order, and I haven't pulled the trigger, mostly because like that price point is up there with things like Super 7 and all that, to where like you're going to be paying somewhere around the ballpark of like $60 to $100 depending on what the figure, the size of the figure and everything. But like I've seen them in person and they're fabulous. They look fantastic.
Yeah.
It's that scary price point ledge that you got to jump off of. And I think as collectors, we know when you jump that ledge, there's no coming back.
No, yeah, exactly. I've been hesitant on it, and I've had regret. There was a couple figures, especially the Golden Axe figures. I really was looking into that, but once again, it's that price point because the Barbarian came with the Dragon, and my apologies if that's not the correct language for it, but that price point was at originally like $135, and the two skeletons were about $60, which is pretty decent, $30 per figure, but they're also skeletons, so you're like, do I want to spend that? Well, I slept on it and decided, what, I don't need to. Maybe I'll go back to it. Terrible mistake. A Jushin Thunder Liger, that's another figure that I wanted from them, and I'm like, okay, maybe one day, but definitely you don't want to sleep on these, and you're definitely not going to want to sleep on the Street Sharks. I know that's something that you and I talked about personally. I had mentioned, man, sometimes I wish that they had these installment pay plans, kind of like Hot Toys and whatnot, let me do that pre-order and pay up on these, especially if you're going to launch a line of Street Sharks, man. Please let me spend $20 a month or something.
Yeah, but to say the least, I am super, super excited for Storm Collectibles. If they do Street Sharks, I will definitely. There's not even a question in my head. I will be pre-ordering them. These will be the first Storm Collectibles I get my hands on.
It's all downhill from there, man.
It's all downhill from there. Which it's weird, right? Because I collect Hot Toys. I shouldn't have a problem with dropping that amount of money, but it's the scale, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is. There's a lot that has to factor into it. It's the same reason why I'm not big on collecting Mezcos too. It looks gorgeous. I love the stuff, but I had that price point with having a family is really tough.
Yeah. Moving on to Marvel Legends, they actually just revealed, probably of this time of this recording, about 2 hours ago, another MCU style Marvel Legend in Sylvie from the show Loki. Now, this is going to be the shortest part of the show here because John is about 8 months behind. He still hasn't even watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Exactly.
That's why you'll never see him on the recap shows, because he's so far behind, it's ridiculous.
Like the Internet Explorer of Kapowcast.
just come on, load. But yeah, no, MCU, we talked about this. Me and Mike have talked about this a couple times. I'm very selective with my MCU Marvel Legends. It's usually a rhyme and a reason as to which ones I get. So I think currently this is definitely a hard pass for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the same boat with you. Even if I watch this or whatnot, I would probably be in the same boat. Just with, I'm not really a big MCU Marvel Legends collector, and now it just got so ridiculous that I'm only collecting what I want to collect out of it. If I see something that I want to collect that's not terribly outrageous, I'll get it. But otherwise, I'll just set it aside. Not to knock on those figures, but that's just not what I collect.
It's not your slice of pie, if you will. But yeah, no, hard pass. Like I said, shortest segment of the show, Marvel Legends, for once. For once in the short history of this show. Moving on to Super 7. I don't know if you know this, John, but Power Morphicon was this past weekend. And,
oh, really? I maybe in passing I might have heard that, but
yeah,
I'm still so out of it. I'm still locked down in my COVID bunker.
I have sprung forward out of mine with no pants. This past weekend was Power Morphicon, the Power Rangers Comic Con, and I guess apparently from what Mike was telling me, they sent out a email message that essentially said, hey, this figure is coming. It's up for pre-order at the con, et cetera, but it is a Super 7 Goldar, which I think I've voiced my opinion in other shows, not this one, but in other shows, that the Lightning Collection I am highly disappointed in currently. It's
standpoint. I feel like we haven't got like a really solid figure since the White Ranger. So Super 7 being able to somehow get the exclusive copyright stuff from Hasbro.
The licensing on it. Yeah, it's once again, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane with that those agreements and all that happens, and the fact that you can have these cross licenses, and Super 7 now picking up that figure. I'm very interested to see how that goes, and also in comparison to what it will look like with the regular lineup that we're getting.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious about scale. Mm-hmm. Because I knew the Super 7 figures are a little bit bigger than your average 6 to 7 inch scaling. Mm-hmm. But I know the quality is there.
Yeah,
Super 7 never releases something that's half-assed. Maybe it's not like in my wheel well or something that like I would buy, but everything they've ever released looks good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a fan of the small like reaction figures. I really enjoy those, and I know arguably some people can be like, the prices on those, and I absolutely understand that because of the points of articulation and all that. But on the same side, it's like, I don't know, it reaches back to me on some sort of these things that I really enjoyed as a kid. For instance, the Universal Monster line, foreshadowing there, that used to be out. My brothers and I had those, and so the reaction figures just kind of remind me of that. And I mean, I think they're great. I was kicking myself. There's another one. I really wanted to pick up Toxie, and I just was like, I slept on it, and that was my mistake. And now there's the glow in the dark version, and that's one thing too. I'm sleeping on that one as well. I just need to tell myself, hey, get it.
I know there's a local spot that has the glow in the dark Toxie.
Yes, that's right.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if this goes up for a widespread pre-order, I think I'll dive in on it. Just because, dude, I was really excited when the Lightning Collection got announced, because like to date, like I wasn't a fan of the Legacy line other than like their, I would say their cosplay oriented prop stuff. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a fan of their action figures, and then we got like the White Ranger. The White Ranger looked really good. The paints were amazing, and then from there on out, it was like a steady decline in quality and QC issues, and they kind of just like they lost me. Like I was just kind of like, I'm done with this line. I can't take any more heartbreak. So to have somebody, like I said, the upper scale collectibles from Super 7 grabbing and somehow getting that license, I'm amazed they were able to do this. If that goes up for pre-order, I'll definitely be pre-ordering it.
Yeah, 100%. Man. I can't wait to see the review on that one, because that's one too that like I go back and forth on. Do I want to grab it? I've collected some of the Power Ranger lines throughout the past few years. Basically, once again, only the ones that I like or the ones that I thought were cool. Mm-hmm. That one I'm very much looking forward to. I will say though too, like in the same vein as well with Super 7, they released the G.I. Joe figure from the Cobra, and I apologize, it's escaping my mind. And I was kind of disappointed in that one. I expected a little bit more, but it kind of has the a classic, almost like a Japanese style vinyl toy. But I think it's all plastic, and they have two versions of it. They have a clear version and they have the regular version of it. And I didn't think the price point was great on that, because I think it's like $75 to pick that up. Whereas typically, these things range. Sometimes I think I've seen some of their stuff originally for like $35, I want to say, but $55 sounds familiar too. So I'll be interested to see where Goldar lies on with that, and if that'll be kind of a determining point for me as well. Is that something? What he looks like, the design of it, the sculpt of it, the paint. will it be enough for me to say, hey, you know what? I can pick this up, or I can pick up a video game for that amount of money. We'll see.
Right. I feel that. And that's kind of the thing. It goes back with the Storm Collectibles. It's a hard ledge to climb over with the price point. Well, I almost feel like maybe like, because we're not dealing with like a company like Hasbro. We're not dealing with a company like even to the size of NECA. Super 7 is a rather small company, and from my understanding, Storm Collectibles is, in the grand scheme of it, a rather small company as well. So like these guys are like dishing over the same amount of money for these rights to do these figures as the big boys are, but the big boys have ways of like cutting their profit costs to make these things $20, $25, whatever the price point lie.
Yeah.
And then you go over to something like Storm, or you go over to Super 7, and their price points are somewhere along the lines of like $60 to $100, and you're like, what? This is insanity. And
yeah,
it's one of those things you got to step back, I guess, and really kind of look at the case by case scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It's one of those that, how bad do you want it? Mm-hmm. And if you're willing to pay that price point, great. And I want nothing but to support these guys, because the more available that these other companies are on the market, that's a great competitive market right there. And you have your choices. But in the same vein, like I said, I can understand why people don't want to spend like $18 on a figure that only has 4 points of articulation.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, man, do I really want to? But I mean, hook, line, and sinker on me, man. So I definitely like what they're putting out. And I thought that they did a great job with the He-Man stuff, the Masters of the Universe stuff well. So if anything, like that's convinced me, to give them some money, because I've bought some of those figures from them, and I'll try to continue to support them when I can, when I have that cash flow that I want to, get something from them.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Go. You just amped me up to pre-order that Goldar. Let's support the small guy. Moving on to the kind of small guy, NECA gave us a deeper look into their Ultimate Wolfman figure. I don't know. Have you seen the people just like complaining up a storm about the mustache?
No, I haven't seen that, and I'm glad I haven't. That's the one thing I've learned, is to just not. I dropped out of a lot of the toy groups. I just can't.
I don't blame you.
I just can't.
It's disgusting.
I like to try to stay positive, and if everyone likes to complain about $30 worth of plastic, hey, that more power to you. But I like what I see. I enjoy everything that I saw with the photos. And I'm just happy that we're getting more Universal Monsters. I think that's great. And, that's a toy line, or I should say that's a collectible area where it's not just young guys. I mean, we're talking like guys that are legitimately grandfathers are collecting these, so this spreads out. And
that's actually, that's a really cool thing you bring up, because they announced the black and white Franky, and of course I'm like, yeah, of course I'm pre-ordering this. It's A, it's NECA, and B, it's Universal Monsters. But Janelle's dad is a big Universal Monsters fan, so I pre-ordered 2 of the black and white Frankies. And nice. I guess she told him, because I was going to keep it as a surprise and give it to him when it came in. But she had ended up telling him, and I guess he just like lost his mind. Like, he's just so excited that like he's getting an action figure of Franky.
That's awesome, man.
It's crazy, because like it's very few and far in between that like I invite people into this realm of my life with the collectibles and everything, just because 9 out of 10 people just don't get it. They don't understand. Like, why would you pay that much for that thing? Why would you pay?
It's fake, right?
Yeah. It's just plastic. Why are you 34 and still buying toys? Like, it doesn't make sense to most people, and I personally can't explain it. I just, it brings me joy, and that's all you need to know is I get happiness out of what I do.
Yeah, exactly, right?
But
hey,
so
what
yeah,
brings you joy?
He's super excited. I'm kind of want to I'm gonna get him to do an unboxing video of Franky.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'd love to see that. So something different, something new, and I think that's just it. Like you said, getting back to it. I joked around about saying, it's fake, right? Alluding to everyone always saying that about wrestling. It's the same thing. There's something here with some of these toy lines that you can have that connection with someone older than you, a parent, your mother or your father or whatever, your grandfather or grandmother. There's certain things that you just have a connection to and you have these memories with. And I don't know, Universal Monsters look awesome just in general. And it's one of those things too that I think it's they're older scary movies and you feel like, oh yeah, I can introduce these to my kids because they're not too terribly scary, but that depends on which ones you watch.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like just awesome, the mythos behind it and the history, and I'm just happy to see once again that we're getting this. And I definitely need to put up my pre-order on the Wolfman. I haven't done that yet, but that'll be soon. I also am worried because I missed. I haven't really missed out, but I keep forgetting to do the Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in London pre-orders too. So I really need to get on that.
I just rewatched that the other night, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what a classic.
It's so good. I always forget about how good that movie actually is, and then I rewatch it, and I'm like, this is ludicrous, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what did you think about the Wolfman human head sculpt? Did you see that?
Yeah. I thought it was great. I mean, I haven't seen terribly too many pictures of it, but what I did see, I was very impressed. I actually thought in my head I would interchange these heads, which I never really thought about, and I really liked that. I really liked that they had that.
I like that they give you enough accessories with this figure that you can actually perform a transformation.
Yes.
Into the Wolfman. I think that would be really cool, and you could obviously it's really easy to do that with all of our technology now. Anybody could do that, and I think that aspect of it is awesome. I think I might try to do it. I'm not, making any promises, but the aspects there and the fact that you can make it happen is amazing. I never would have thought that, even 10 years ago, that I would be able to have a 6-inch figure and recreate an actual full on scene of that nature.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
Super excited. I don't think there's anybody better to be able to work with that license than NECA, because everybody, I think it's safe to say NECA, their background basically started with horror figures. Mm-hmm. So, cha-ching, that's where they got as good as they did.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. Those NECA, anytime I think of horror movie figures, I think NECA, honestly, and what they've been able to do with it and how they keep growing it, it's awesome. And then on top of it too, to have one of the original crossovers and American film, the Universal Monsters. We have Franky and the Wolfman. They're meeting up, man. I'm really excited, and I just can't wait to see all those Instagram posts from people posing them and stuff. It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be a good day when that happens. You just actually pre-ordered a different line of the Universal Monsters from Jada Toys?
Jada Toys, yeah, absolutely. It was it's a gamble. I'm not going to lie. It's a gamble because this company, as far as I know, they're really known for, actually, I have them right here, making these types of little figures, these metal die-cast figures. This is from the Dungeons and Dragons line that they did. And I mean, they're nice. The dragon's amazing. The beholder's amazing. Very impressive. But that's all I really know them for. I know that they also have licenses for the Fast and Furious franchise. They also have some other licenses for some kid show stuff. So to me, as far as I know, and anyone watching or listening to this, anything in the comments section, please let us know. I don't know if they've ever done action figures before in this scale, in this sense. I've seen some of the photos for it that have been released, and it was enough to convince me to shell out the $25 per figure. And you get, if I recall, Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster for all of you out there, the Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. And they look great. Now, I don't know if they'll be in the same scale as NECA or what, but I'm very interested to see where they're at. And we'll see. I forget, those might be coming out in November, maybe, sometime at the end of the year. I'm very excited. I saw them. I don't know how many other people. I haven't heard anyone else pre-order them. I'm the only one that I know of out of our local friend group. But I'll be interested to see what they look like when I get them in hand. And maybe we'll have to just do a Kapowcast review on those as well.
I was just about to say, November, look forward to John Brewski's Kapowcast review on these figures, so if you're interested. NECA gave us a little bit more. They've been super quiet lately, which is really weird. But they also gave us the reveal of the packaging and accessories and whatnot of the TMNT, the first movie, the Hamato, Yoshi, and Oroku Saki, from the flashback story when Splinter's telling the story of his like origin.
Yes.
I know Mike. I think Mike said this was a hard pass for him. And I get it because like it's kind of like one of the deeper cuts in the TMNT line. I still am undecided. All right, so I kind of only want to get it for the baby Splinter.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, an average person that maybe stumbles upon this, like you're an idiot. Like, why would you buy that? But like, that's kind of the deal with NECA. Like, they win in the accessories category. Is like,
man.
But it's such a, like I said, it's a deep cut in my collection. I don't know where exactly I would fit it per se. I know you have you picked up any turtle stuff?
No, actually I have not. Just because I knew how hard it was going to be to try to collect this line. I had collected the original, like around the late 2000s and the early 2010s. That Nickelodeon reboot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line. I collected all
the good one.
All of those. Yeah, the good one. And I collected some of the one where Raph was the leader when they rebooted it. I liked the figures. I thought they were great. I never really watched that show, but I did watch the reboot with Jason Biggs and then Seth Green as Leonardo. And I thought that was terrific to me, and I absolutely loved it. And I was sad to see when they stopped everything with that. So when NECA had introduced, doing these figures, I thought, oh, dude, this is going to be great. But I think there was a little bit of heartbreak there too, though, for me, that I was just like, okay, I know that these are going to be pretty hard to find in our area. We always joke and call it the Bermuda Triangle of toy collectibles here.
Yep.
And so I knew that just collecting Marvel Legends alone somewhere like here had been very difficult. I was like, I'm not going to add to it. So I really missed the boat on these NECA TMNT figures. But like I live vicariously through you and Mike. So I really like when I see your guys' collection and like, I don't know what it is. I'm comforted in not collecting those, because then there's stuff like this where I'm like, oh man. And I have a feeling that I might actually see these on the shelves.
You might.
Who knows? Maybe I might pick these up. Like this is the stuff that I love, and you've seen it in some of the other Kapowcast videos. Like when we did the really cool Comic-Con, and you saw the stuff that I picked up. That it's just it's whatever catches my eye, And so I really like the weird toys, and or the it's almost like meta toys, are so obscure that they do this.
What was that one you picked up from Really Cool Comic-Con? It was a sports figure. And I don't know why I'm thinking Wayne Gretzky. I know it's not Gretzky.
Oh, I picked up Don Cherry. Cherry before all of the unfortunate news came out about Don Cherry just being an asshole.
And then you're just sitting in your room staring at the figure like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, man. Don, I always knew you were an asshole, but I didn't know you were a racist asshole, you know.
It's one of those ones. I think I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to, if I see it, I'll get it, but I'm not going to actively look for it.
Yeah.
I can understand that'll be the deal.
I can understand that.
And I totally understand like the living vicariously thing that you said, because that's exactly what I do with the G.I. Joe stuff with you and Mike.
Yeah.
Like I am so unbelievably happy that I decided against starting that line, because I see how frustrated Mike is, and like you have been, but you're a little less vocal about it.
Yeah.
And
it's a love-hate relationship. That's the line that really like ultimately broke the camel's back of me going, you know what, I'm done collecting. And then here I am back at it again.
Yep.
I'm just, saying forget it about all the Target exclusives, because, they're getting better at it. And I hope we get some re-releases, but a bunch of big man babies. Once again, the comment section of the toy groups on Facebook, that I was just like, I got to get out of this. This is too toxic for me, man.
I think one of the admins in one of them that I'm in actually posted, hey, I know we've been posting a lot of G.I. Joe, but if you're looking for something else, just, say so, because, obviously everybody's looking for G.I. Joe right now. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm not, because I am usually pretty active in trying to get this stuff. Like, I just randomly walked into my Target by Taylor and walked out with the Turtles in Disguise 4-pack. And that was one of those ones that, like, that was another set. If I find it, I'll get it. Yeah. And I was never expecting to actually find it. And then I found it, and part of me even went like, shit. I'm a man of my word. And I had to say, alone, the accessories are pretty prime. A lot of reused from different lines, but still, like, it's a lot of fun. That set in particular has made me regret not getting the NECA diorama, the street diorama.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
I know I don't have any room for it, but it just looks so good. Looks so awesome. And I think they would just really kind of bring the cartoon line to life. So secondhand markups, I might be buying that unless I do another order.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know, man. I had heard some murmurs, some whisperings about that being re-released. So
yeah, I never thought I'd be that guy. That one guy in the comments section. NECA, are you gonna do a reissue of this pre-order that you just had up for a month? I was like, damn it, I'm him. I'm the dude. I'm the guy, but I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, we've all been there.
But that will do it for this week's episode of Shut Up and Take My Money. Let us know down in the comments below. Are you going to be pre-ordering any of this stuff? Are you just going to sit out? Are you expecting to expand your family and you just can't collect anymore? What's your deal? Let us know. Communicate with us. We like to talk to people via the internet, not actually in person.
Yes. Yeah. Who are you living vicariously through, right? Like, what toy line are you glad your friend's collecting that you're not collecting?
I'm personally super excited to break my wallet once again in the coming year. Storm Collectables, I'm counting on you, man. I'm counting on you. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that bell for notifications. Make sure you click that download button, the follow button, whatever you got to do on those podcatchers so that you don't miss an episode when we release. And I think until the next time we get some plastic news, I've been Tony.
Hey, I've been John.
And we'll see you guys later.